1 in 5 Britons aged 18 to 45 prefer unelected leaders to democracy, a poll finds. We're going to read into this exclusive from The Guardian, you guys. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Reganelite here with an exclusive from The Guardian with the headline that 1 in 5 Britons aged 18 to 45 prefer unelected leaders to democracy, a poll finds. The exclusive reveals that voters overall are downbeat about politics and almost 6 in 10 think the UK's best years are behind us. Guys, while you're here, make sure you hit the like button and share it across social media so others are notified of this video. And before I give my thoughts, I want to stress this to the hill because I know some people are looking at that headline and are thinking the wrong ways. I want to stress this right now. It is a poll. It is not the opinion of every single Briton up and down the UK. It is just a statement of, it is just what one company or whatever pollster has done, and there's a highly good chance that this poll, I'm not familiar with the pollsters behind this, so I want to stress this right now. It's a high chance that this could be BS. I'm pretty fair to say. So what's my initial thoughts about this? I really struggle to buy this. I really struggle to buy this headline. It's definitely a very good headline of, come read this article, Nab, from The Guardian. It definitely comes across like that. And I know there's quite a lot of people who are very skeptical of the outlet itself, and that's totally fine if you're in that opinion poll. I still find them at times they can be very reliable, but there are times where they do things like this. And this is one that definitely I have very much a lot of questions over, because I just don't see from my feeling is, I don't see it as a case of Britons don't believe in democracy. I don't see it the case of that they want an autocrat, like somebody that is in control of everything and does everything that they're told, like a king. I don't buy that premise that the majority of the people in the UK want, and especially 18 to 45s. No, I don't buy that at all. What I generally think this poll has come from a lot of people who are Elon Musk fanboys. I really do think that a lot of that has come down from that. A lot of it's come down from people online, not so much about on the ground talking to individuals on the street. I really do think that's the case. I don't think this poll is accurate in any way, shape, or form. Now, obviously, I think if you go pull out a poll like this, I think you will find the numbers very, very different, because they're very, very careful with how they select their selective, and then very detail when it comes to their numbers, and plus they have the experience when it comes to this, unlike these guys. But like I said, take this with a massive pinch of salt, because I really have a hard time believing this. But I generally want to know what you guys think of this headline and whatnot down in the comments below. But let's have a read into it anyway, guys. So this is what it says. So 1 in 5 Generation Zs and millennial Britons prefer strong leaders without elections to democracy, and voters overall are feeling downbeat about politics, the report has found. Now, I agree. I think this is this is something I definitely agree with, and I think everybody will agree with, that they do want strong leaders. They don't want weak leaders, and Boris Johnson is a weak leader. He talks a lot, but he's not really a strong leader. So that is something I think I would tend to agree with majority of people. The polling, due to be published next week as part of the FGS Global Radar report, found that overall 14% of people agreed with the statement. The best system for running a country effectively is a strong leader who doesn't have to bother with elections, rather than the alternative. The best system for running a country effectively is democracy. Yeah, see, this is why I'm very skeptical. That rose to 21% of people between age 18 to 45 who answered that the best system was a strong leader without elections. In contrast, only 8% of people over 55 preferred a system to democracy. I'm surprised more people... So this is what this is their source, the GDF graph the poll. So it has a poll of 2,084 adults. Okay, so again, that tells you a lot there. It's not quite a lot of people. It also notes participants were asked to choose between a pair of conflicting views and indicate which they agree with most, even if neither represent exactly what they think. Totals may not sum to 100 due to rounding. So that's, again, another factor you need to take into when reading into this. But if you look here, to be fair, like the majority of people are pretty much in for, what's this say? So it says 1 in 5. No, I think the majority still believe in democracy here. If you look at all the males and females there, 71, 76, all 74% overall. 18 to 24, 68, according to the people they pulled, 60, 63, 75, 82, 87, 86. So, you know, I think the vast majority there. This headline does feel a little bit, I feel it does feel a little bit misleading. And I know some people will call it out in the comments. This poll tells it all for me. Most people still believe in democracy, and they don't want to have a strong leader that doesn't have to bother with elections. Because because the problem is that if you have a strong leader that doesn't have to bother with elections, if that strong leader turns out to be bad for you, bad for your livelihood, and you can't elect them out, vote them out, then you're stuck. You're kind of screwed. So, yeah. The report's findings that a sizable minority of under 45s are unconvinced by the need for elections. It comes as some electorates have been opting for populist leaders such as Donald Trump through the ballot box, and the billionaire Elon Musk has been wielding power over public debate by shaping what is being seen on his social media platform X. Last week, the Financial Times reported that Musk had been appointed by Trump to help overhaul the public sector, had privately discussed with allies how Keir Starmer could be removed as UK Prime Minister before the next general election, and a move that would constitute an intervention into British democracy. There was a story going around that Elon Musk has had discussions with Dominic Cummings as well, apparently. The FGS report polling found that men were more likely to lean away from democracy than women, at 17% compared to 13%. That does not more men than women. That does not surprise me. And Reform UK voters were fractionally more likely to do so than other voters for other parties, 17% compared with Labour voters at 16%. Conservatives at 14%, Lib Dems at 9%, and Greens at 8%. Yeah, because Greens are not dummies. Despite last year bringing a Labour landslide, changing the government in the UK and delivering a second Trump administration in the US, nearly 1 in 4 voters said they thought voting did not make a difference. Those most disillusioned with voters were aged 25 to 24, with 3 in 10 saying it made no difference. Well, that's because of the electoral system. This is why we need proportional representation, because I've told you guys this already. Like, I'm in a Labour stronghold. You know, my vote doesn't really make a difference. I still voted at Green at the last general election, even though I knew I wasn't going to get a Green candidate. But I know it means that I'm still voting for the political party or the candidate that I want to vote for. But I totally get that consensus that, you know, your vote doesn't feel validated in any way, shape or form. I totally understand that. We do need a form of proportional representation. There's all sorts of different ones out there, but we do need one out there. So I totally understand how people feel that way, but to say that we shouldn't have elections are always nonsense. We need to change the election system, not get rid of it. The premise should be changing the electoral system, not getting rid of the electoral system. That's what people mindsets need to be towards, not this idea of just having one person in charge all the time. Does voting make a difference? Now, voting doesn't make a difference. Don't know, and voting make a difference. This is interesting. So, the majority still believe voting makes a difference there. 18-24, 71%, very high. More older voters are very high there. 25 to 34, much lower. Much lower there. They feel that their votes don't make a difference. Yeah, it tends to be more young. But, I mean, overall, from this source, that majority still think voting makes a difference here. But you can see overall, 25 to 34s there, according to the poll there. Not so sure, but people still thinks that voting makes a difference. The survey found pessimism about the state of UK politics, with 47% saying none of the country's political party represent my views and values very closely. From 2,000 adults of voting age, it found that 23% think that the UK is going in the right direction, while 64% agree with the statement. It feels like the UK is in a period of steep decline. 59% said they felt that the UK's best years are behind us. The annual Global Radar report, which looks at the big themes of 2025, predicts that this will be the year of Trump, and it will be a period of shock and awe while he delivers his agenda. Yeah, there will be shock and awe. In off-the-record interviews with 70 political experts and opinion formers, the report said it highlighted the fact that the UK is now a beacon of relative stability compared with the last parliament, and with the current state of play in major European neighbours, allowing businesses to plan, take decisions and engage. And many also predicted there would be inevitable clashes with business, trade unions and Labour backbenchers, while interviewees question whether the cabinet has the stomach for the fight. The report also says that the Labour supporters it spoke to were worried that the government was struggling to articulate its strategy and agenda. The concerns about the lack of a clear vision and narrative to explain what the Starmer government is doing and why is it doing it and who is it for. This is a big problem as well. They are so bad, so bad at explaining why they do some of the things they do, Labour, which is what infuriates a lot of the British public. Some of the decisions that they make just doesn't really make a lot of sense. There have been some good things they've done, but but obviously we highlight more the negative stories than the positive stories that this government is doing. It also notes that the article was amended on the 13th of January, that 59% said they felt the UK's best years are behind us, rather than 1 in 6, as we had in an earlier version there. I mean, it's still like, okay, it is only 2,000 votes. Like I said, I'm very skeptical about a poll such as a poll like this. And I know some people may say it's completely pointless covering this, and some people may say it's a very reliable source. They're very reliable. I think like it's a snap of what some people might think. That is the best way to look at it. And the thing is, and this is really, really important to understand, is that, we are still several years away from a general election. Yes, we do have a local election in May, which obviously that will be very interesting to see what the outcomes will be. And a bit closer to that time, we'll say a lot about, I think, when we'll see in a few months, like where we're going to be in a couple of months' time, because as time goes on, people will want change. People will expect, you can keep kicking on about Conservatives, but, over time, people will say, well, what have you been doing? What have you been doing? Why am I not better off? Why am I not feeling better off? These are questions that people will start asking over time. Some people out there who just aren't interested in politics, just want their lives to be better and the government just to do what it does. And if people feel that things have not changed for them, then they're going to vote differently next time around. And sometimes the people with the biggest mouthpieces are the ones who get the vote, even though they are bad for the UK, even if we fundamentally disagree on that. But to say that, to imply that 1 in 5 Britons prefer unelected leaders to democracy, I'm still skeptical that the majority of people are behind that. Some people may agree with it, but I don't think we're at this. I don't think we're at that point in any way, shape, or form. Which is why there has been talk recently about whether or not Twitter X should be banned because of the sheer audacity level of misinformation. And maybe there should start being a conversation about Meta, considering that they're going to be taking away protections for people as well against disinformation. But what do you guys honestly think? What do you guys make about this poll? That 1 in 5 Britons aged 18 to 45 prefer unelected leaders to democracy, this poll has found. What do you guys make of it? Do you believe it? Do you think it's hogwash? Do you think there's some truth to some of it, what it is said? Let me know your thoughts and more down in the comments section below. If you found this video interesting, please hit the like button, it'd be greatly appreciated. Share this across social media so others are notified of this video. If you haven't subscribed already, please consider subscribing because it really does help support the channel. If you want to go one step further and financially support me and the work that I do here, you can do so by becoming a YouTube member for as little as 99p, or join me on Rumble or Patreon for exclusive content on those platforms. So thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to catch you all very, very soon.